Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Lin Lustig. I draw ridiculous things and then I usually put them in my books. This, however, is a commissioned piece for a friend. So while you're watching that come to life, I'm going to talk about story Bibles. Okay, if you have not sat down to really pay attention to a story Bible, you're amazing. How do you keep it all in your brain? All right. Story Bible for me is a place where I can dump all of my additional ideas. It's where I can keep track of my details. It is where everything for a series that I think is going to be remotely useful is going to go. You're probably familiar with things like keeping track of your characters, the way they look, eye color, size. I don't know. They probably don't look like my chibis, but that's their loss. And things about their personality, what kind of humor they have, if they have any scars, how do they dress, like what does their clothing say about them, what kind of thing are they expressing via the way that they present themselves to the outside world. And yeah, that goes into the cadence of speech and makeup and all of that fun stuff. You're also going to want to make sure you look at things like the wants and the needs. This is going to feed into character motivation, and that's going to be a big part of making sure that your character stays consistent and has something gripping for the audience to then catch on to and root for. So I recommend Deborah Dixon's GMC, Goal Motivation Conflict. So that's going to be a great book on understanding both what your character wants, what they actually need, and they think that want's going to give it to them, but it's not really going to give it to them, and then how that interacts with the story as a conflict. But you're not just going to want to keep track of people. So for me personally, I keep track of locations. Not only that, but larger world building ways, I keep track of the locations and the countries and their relation to each other, and I treat them more or less like characters. That just helps me then understand that culture when I'm putting my main characters into that particular scene. But you're also going to want other things like major events. I have found that there are scenes I end up having to reference time and time again. And I finally broke down, copied the main chunk of that scene, whatever the most important thing is. Usually it's a conversation. And I have just dropped that into my story Bible so that I can reference it at any time. I do recommend digital story Bibles if you're comfortable with that, because then you can do, Control F and find whatever it is you're actually looking for. If, like me, sometimes you get a little off track with where you're supposed to be putting certain elements. Right now, I've been using Notion. Notion is a free application, and it allows you to have these massive spreadsheets and is a really robust program that honestly I barely use the least of. My friend is an absolute genius with it. I, however, well, I'm me. So, if you keep that in mind, Notion is a great program. And if you can keep your own organization system, that's going to be where you're going to shine. However, if you need a little bit more guidance, I recently got Plotter, and a lot of people will also recommend Scrivener. There is no wrong answer. The only wrong answer is if it doesn't work for you, why are you still using it? So Plotter allows for a more visual tracking, and since my series is going to be going on for a while, I really find that useful. And hopefully you will be able to find a version that helps you keep track of these things. But anytime something seems important, put it on the list. Because I cannot tell you how many times I've had to go back and find, okay, who was that one character that I mentioned by name once in that scene 3 chapters ago? Or worse, was that last draft? Was that 2 drafts ago? Where did that person go? Yeah, it happens. It happens. So you can also use it for keeping track of just idea generation. Yes, generating ideas. That makes more sense. I have a whole list of names that I can use at random. I have lists of abilities that I can use at random. So in my world, there are magic abilities. So I have to keep track of who can do what their power level is, what their, kind of specialty is that they focus on. It's a whole thing. But again, keeping track of these details can be amazing for then keeping your continuity on track, and I highly recommend it. So let me know if you use a different program or how you keep track of your characters down below. And yeah, I would love to hear all about it. So thank you for coming by and to watch this beautiful chibi be created. This is actually inspired from a true scene in life where my friend took me to a pumpkin patch and, well, did that. She's a blast. I love her to death. All right. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And my dearest friend, come back soon. All right. See ya.